Exploring James Clear's Atomic Habits, The Power of Tiny Changes. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a transformative book to explore, Atomic Habits by James Clear. In this powerful guide, Clear isn't just challenging the way we think about progress, he's revolutionizing it. The core idea of Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits sheds light on how tiny, almost invisible changes can result in massive, life-altering outcomes. You don't need to make drastic changes to achieve extraordinary results. It's the small, everyday improvements that matter. Clear offers practical strategies and personalized tools to help us form good habits, break the bad ones, and master the minuscule behaviors that lead to remarkable results. The value of the book. This book is a must-read for anyone looking to make a significant change in their life. Drawing from scientific research, Atomic Habits takes us on a journey of self-discovery and growth, helping us understand that our habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. If you're ready to transform your habits and achieve your full potential in health, productivity, or even your relationships, stay tuned as we delve into James Clear's enlightening book. Chapter 1: The Surprising Power of Tiny Habits. The central thesis of Atomic Habits is that small, consistent changes in our habits can lead to significant results over time. This concept relies on the compounding effect of habits, which Clear refers to as the power of atomic habits. A real-world example. Clear opens with a story about the British cycling team, which dramatically improved through the implementation of a strategy of marginal gains or the 1% rule, focusing on tiny improvements in every aspect of cycling. The cumulative impact led the team to win numerous Olympic gold medals and Tour de France championships. The transformative power of tiny habits. Clear uses the term atomic for habits because, much like atoms, they are the building blocks of larger systems. The aggregation and compounding of many small habits lead to substantial outcomes. The term atomic is twofold. Firstly, it's an analogy to atomic theory, where a large entity can be broken down into its smallest components. Secondly, atomic in terms of power, reflecting the potential for transformation in minute behavioral shifts. The habit loop and continuous improvement. Clear introduces the habit loop concept and emphasizes the power of systems over goals. He advocates focusing on getting 1% better each day, continuous improvement, or Kaizen, rather than striving for a significant breakthrough. The chapter concludes by affirming the book's aim to provide practical strategies for remarkable results. Chapter 2: How Your Habits Shape Your Identity and Vice Versa. In Chapter 2, Clear delves into the psychological underpinnings of habits, arguing that they are closely linked to our sense of identity. He introduces the concept of identity-based habits and the two-step process of habit change, emphasizing focusing on who you want to be rather than what you want to achieve. Identity conflict. Clear discusses the challenge of identity conflict and argues that lasting change comes from aligning our self-image with our goals. In conclusion, he posits that to create better habits, the key isn't to change what you do, but to change who you are. Chapter 3: How to Build Better Habits in 4 Simple Steps. Chapter 3 focuses on identifying the 4 steps of habit formation based on the habit loop: cue, craving, response, and reward, constituting the 4 laws of behavior change. Cue, the trigger to start a behavior. Craving, what motivates you to perform a habit. Response, the actual execution of the habit. Reward, the benefit gained from doing the habit. Clear further elaborates on how to manipulate these laws to create or break habits. Chapter 4: The Man Who Didn't Look Right. In Chapter 4, the author begins with an engaging story involving a nurse named Elaine who detected internal bleeding in a patient. Despite vital sign monitors indicating normality, her intuition alerted her to a problem. This story serves to illustrate the brain's capability to pick up subtle cues and trigger a habitual response. The Science of Habits. The author, James Clear, explains that our habits are largely cue-driven, operating beneath conscious thought. This is why they feel second nature. An example is the automatic response of checking a phone when it buzzes. Changing habits through environmental cues. Clear emphasizes the challenge of changing habits due to automatic responses to cues. He shows that recognizing and manipulating cues is the key to altering habits. By rearranging the living room, for instance, you might curb the habit of watching too much TV. The chapter essentially highlights how understanding and managing cues can give greater control over habits and emphasizes the importance of recognizing how the brain responds to signals from our surroundings. Chapter 5: The Best Way to Start a New Habit. Chapter 5 introduces the concepts of implementation intentions and habit stacking. Implementation intentions. Clear explains that failure to develop a new habit often stems from a lack of clarity. He argues that explicitly stating when and where to act on intentions can dramatically increase the success of behavior. Habit stacking. The idea of habit stacking involves linking a new habit with an established one. If you want to start journaling, for instance, you might associate it with making morning coffee. Clear emphasizes that this approach requires regular and consistent routines and that the new habit must be achievable quickly. The chapter teaches the reader how to build systems for getting the best things done one small habit at a time, enhancing the chances of making new habits stick. Chapter 6: Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. Clear discusses how the environment, rather than motivation, often has a more significant impact on our habits. Environmental influence. Through examples, he illustrates how environmental changes can influence behavior. Moving a candy jar out of sight in an office reduced consumption drastically. Strategies for good habits. Clear suggests strategies like making cues for good habits obvious or reducing exposure to cues for bad ones. He also speaks about the influence of peer groups and how joining a culture that supports the desired behavior can be beneficial. The chapter emphasizes designing an environment that naturally promotes good habits and discourages bad ones. Chapter 7: The Secret to Self-Control. This chapter introduces the idea of choice architecture and its influence on self-control and habit adherence. The Stanford Marshmallow Experiment. Clear starts with the famous Stanford Marshmallow Experiment that tested children's self-control and delayed gratification. However, he argues that the study misses the essential factor of the environment. Choice architecture. Evidence from follow-up studies shows that manipulating the environment significantly affects self-control. Clear emphasizes organizing the context of decision-making and introduces commitment devices, choices made in the present that control future actions. Chapter 8 enlightens us about how cravings drive habits and introduces the concept of dopamine-driven feedback loops, which are central to understanding why we form habits in the first place. The strategies of temptation bundling and leveraging culture and community bring to light practical ways to make habits attractive. Chapter 9 emphasizes the role of family and friends in shaping habits, exploring how social influences can be used positively to foster good habits. In Chapter 10, Clear offers insights on identifying and addressing the root causes of harmful habits. Techniques such as the 5 whys and pointing and calling facilitate awareness, while replacing bad habits with good ones and redesigning the environment aid in the process of habit change. Chapter 11 talks about the importance of perseverance and consistency, explaining how small actions can compound over time to produce significant outcomes. The concepts of the plateau of latent potential and the emphasis on systems over goals provide inspiration and guidance to keep progressing. Chapter 12 focuses on the law of least effort, explaining how we gravitate towards options requiring the least amount of work. By reducing friction for good habits and increasing it for bad ones, we can align with this natural tendency and make habit performance easier. In Chapter 13, Clear's 2-minute rule serves as a powerful tool to overcome procrastination and initiate new habits. By scaling down tasks into manageable first steps, this rule fosters easier habit initiation. Chapter 14 introduces commitment devices and contract-like agreements to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. From historical examples like Odysseus to modern-day practices like prepaying for a fitness class, these strategies solidify the path towards our desired habits. Overall, the work provides a rich tapestry of insights, backed by scientific understanding and real-world applicability, allowing anyone to embark on a journey towards better habits and, ultimately, a more fulfilling life. Whether you're seeking to build new habits or break old ones, James Clear's guide is an invaluable resource. It's not just about what habits to form, but how to make them stick. By understanding our brain's workings and applying specific strategies tailored to human nature, we can harness the power of habits to create profound changes in our lives. Conclusion: the power of habits. James Clear's detailed exploration into the mechanics of habit formation provides profound insights and practical strategies to create, maintain, and change habits. The text elucidates how habits are not just individual actions but deeply connected to our desires, environment, social influences, and even our evolutionary wiring. From the explanation of the habit loop and the role of cravings to the strategic implementation of techniques like temptation bundling, 2-minute rule, and commitment devices, Clear's work offers actionable guidance to make positive habits irresistible and negative habits avoidable. Key insights include: habits satisfy cravings and are driven by dopamine, a chemical associated with desire and pleasure. Strategies such as linking desired actions with pleasurable ones can make them more attractive. The influence of culture and community can shape our habits, making socially accepted behaviors more likely to stick. The identification and understanding of cues are vital in replacing bad habits with good ones. The principle of least effort underlines the need to make habits easy to perform and bad habits hard to engage in. The role of consistency, patience, and the awareness that progress is often slow and nonlinear. Practical strategies like the 2-minute rule aid in overcoming procrastination and fostering habit initiation. The power of commitment devices and the alignment of our environment play an essential role in making good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Clear's insights underscore the intricate relationship between our daily routines and our overall life trajectory. Recognizing the foundational role that habits play in shaping our behavior provides a compelling blueprint for anyone looking to transform their life through the deliberate cultivation of beneficial routines. In understanding and applying these principles, we have the power to consciously direct our daily actions towards our long-term goals, creating lasting change and meaningful success.